Man, in a room with two of the big shots right now. How's it going, guys?
It's going good. It's busy day for both of us, but it's
Yep.
good to be talking to you guys. Thanks for doing this.
Now,
Yeah.
before we get into any of the the heavy stuff, we do a couple of these interviews by Zoom and stuff, and it's always interesting to see where everybody finds themselves, like in the interview process. Now we have two of the most contrasting backgrounds ever. We have Jarrett, who, for our personal records, has the most amount of guitars ever behind him. Like we've had some pretty good ones in the past, but I think that's probably like 12 or something. And Frank, you've got just books on books.
Yeah, I'm in front of. Well, so the first thing I should say about this, by the way, is that Jarrett and I have been doing a fair amount of press together recently, and I have often remarked on the fact that he has the coolest backdrop for his like press, Instagram stuff, TikTok, whatever it is. It's just like, oh, you look cool. You look like a musician. And among other things, my I have a studio in my house, but it's currently my partner is currently rehearsing in there, so I can't be in there right now. I've been banished, and so I said I'm in front of my bookcase. I love my books, and there's bloody loads of them all around the place. And yes, I've read all of them.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
would like to
wow.
point out that he has read all those books. I have played all of those guitars.
Okay, fantastic.
Nice. Nice. Is
Looks
there
like you've got a bit of a coin collection there as well, Frank. Is that right?
Yeah, these are my challenge coins. Do you know about challenge coins, Jarrett?
Oh yeah, well, I've got mine are displayed. That's one of the things that actually makes it into the house itself. So
Yeah,
downstairs, I have two or three cases.
might there
yeah.
be
These
possible to
are
ask me what this
they're
is?
kind of they're each one's they're kind of from like sort of service organizations or the military or things like that. Generally American, and you get them when you're serving in a unit. And I collect them. This one that I've just randomly picked off the wall is the Illinois State Police. Which is kind of cool. But I've got them from kind of like everything from like NASA to like Coast Guard to everything else. And I pick them up while I'm on tour and I love them.
Yeah, same. It's like it's the only thing I collect actually. It's
Me too. I didn't know
yeah.
that you were into them as well. Ah,
Yeah, totally. It's a
we
huge
should.
deal. Like
I
it's
mean,
and I do end up getting patches as well. A lot of people give me their patches off their uniform. But I have a lot of challenge coins as well.
I
Nice.
mean, and the collection of fantastic frame posters and the thousands of dollars of guitars and the other cool stuff that is in the background of your shot right now.
Yeah, I do have a lot of I mean, it's basically just, it's sort of just a collection of Bowling for Soup things throughout the years, all of our releases and any of the gold records or whatever and all of that. And then just a lot of show posters from back. This right here is a show, Bowling for Soup and Agent Orange. It's one of our first shows ever in Dallas.
I love
It
that
was
one.
super cool, you know?
Yeah, that one definitely stuck out to me. It reminds me of I don't know if I'm gonna sound like an idiot because you might not have had them. I assume in the US, do you remember Pogs? Like the
Oh,
glow
of
in the dark
course.
Pazos with like the yeah, it's like a
Yeah,
Pogs kind of like art on there.
I get that. Yeah, that makes sense.
I can't believe we're this far into an interview and we've already had Pogs and like collectible coins brought up. I mean, look, the reason why we're talking to you guys is because you're coming down under for a massive tour. How's it all feeling? And I guess let's just go back to the start. Like, how did this come together?
I mean,
Well,
yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, so we sort of we've been friends and sort of long distance admirers. I would probably be a good way of putting it of each other's work for quite a long time. And in the way that these things work out, we'd sort of met at festivals here and there, come to shows. And I thought Jarrett was a lovely guy, and we like each other's music and happy days. And whenever two musicians get together, sooner or later you get enough beer in you, and somebody goes, "Hey man, we should tour together, dude," and the other guy goes, "Yeah, dude," and then nothing ever happens because I mean, partly because everybody says to everyone, and there's just not enough tours in the world, but also because the number of kind of pieces that have to fall into place for something like that to actually happen is larger than you might imagine. There's promoters, there's agents, there's schedules, there's album cycles, there's all of this different stuff has to line up for it to work. So we've been saying that to each other for years. Then during the lockdowns in 2020, we started doing a weekly chat on Instagram. It was originally going to be one where we were supposed to talk about metal, and then we didn't talk about metal at all because we just got sidetracked immediately. And at the end of it, we were like, "Oh, we didn't actually talk about the thing we said we told everyone we were going to talk about. Let's do it again." And then we failed to talk about it for the second week in a row. And this sort of became a bit of a running theme that we were essentially going to talk about everything apart from what we said we were going to talk about. But yeah, we did this for like nearly a year, talking to each other for an hour a week on Instagram Live. And I think, we bonded, and I think our fan bases started bonding a bit there. And that made the likelihood of the drunk dude promise higher, should we say.
Nice.
And then,
Yeah, and then we ended up at Good Things there in Australia,
Yeah.
and it was obvious to us that we were going to make Australia a priority for future touring. After that, the response was great, and I know Frank has a long history there, and coming back quite a bit, and so it was an idea pops in, and just like, hey, what if we can do this? And yeah, and the stars really do have to align. You have to got a lot of things have to fall into place for the schedules to line up and all of that, and we're very fortunate that it did, because it's been a long time coming. We're super excited about it.
yeah.
On that, Frank, I know he just touched on it there, but you have toured Australia quite a lot. Have you found that Australian audiences resonate with your music because it is quite sort of it has got a lot of what we call Aussie pub rock in its roots there, and I guess
I will.
there's sort of conversationalist style music in there as well. Have you found that Aussies really do get behind your music
Yeah,
more than say some
definitely. I
others?
mean, I will take that as a compliment. Yeah, I kind of know what you're talking about there, like the kind of the sort of the stirring bar sing along kind of vibe. Um, uh, and This is this. I was just about to pretend something that obviously isn't true, and it's so obviously not true that I'm not going to bother. But essentially, in recent years of touring Australia, I've become familiar with the music of Slim Dusty.
Oh,
And
yeah.
yeah, the pub with no beer.
Yeah,
What
man. Yeah.
but that speaks to me, should we say? So there's definitely some common ground going on there. But I mean, there's I think that I don't want to say I expected to do well in Australia. That's a terrible thing to say, but like I think that as versus the first time I played in Germany, I was terrified because I just didn't even know if anyone was going to understand my lyrics. Do you know what I mean? Just to start with, or get the cultural references or whatever it might be. And there's just a lot of obvious common ground between England and Australia that made me feel like my bet before my first Australian tour in 2010 was that it would probably be an easier sell than Germany, and I was right.
Nice. Yeah, definitely. I mean, it makes sense for so many different reasons to have you guys coming together down under as well, because not only do we have that connection, like James was saying about like the singer-songwritery, conversational, really honest, sort of lyrical portrayal and stuff like that, but then also with like the pop punk stuff. I mean, we've had such a desire for that sort of music, and bands like Blink, and in that same era like Bowling for Soup, and like those were just like part of my childhood. Like that sound of that is so intertwined with everything, and it broke in through like cartoons and stuff as well, which I know, Jarrett, like you've obviously had a big part in, and that whole culture is it never went away, but over the last, like, since COVID, it's like all the millennials that went dormant and couldn't do anything and had the last years of their like party time taken away from them are like, okay, well, we're
Yeah.
back. you know
Yeah, I mean, it was a perfect storm, in that, I mean, we definitely had what a lot of the pop punk bands call the dark ages, where maybe not everybody wasn't as into it as they were. There were some of us that kept going, and just really never stopped, and just pounded the pavement, and got out there, and some bands stepped away from it for a while, and then, but last year I think it was, you had all these bands celebrating 20 years of their big records. So Simple Plan, and Bowling for Soup, and Story of the Year, and Yellow Card, and all these different bands with their big record was turning 20, and we were celebrating Warp Tour being back here in the States. And so it just sort of kind of floated back up to the top. And like you said, the millennials, you know you got ticket money now. Everybody's got jobs. You want to go see
yeah,
these
yeah.
bands. You don't have to have your parents take you anymore.
And we're bad with
And
money, and we just spend it all the time on stuff.
I
So
know, right?
concerts are a
Yeah,
perfect
you're
vehicle.
you're telling
Avocado,
me merch sales
bowling
are through
soup
the
ticket.
roof, guys.
Yeah.
Frank, what was that?
I said avocados,
Oh,
bowling soup.
avocados, yes. Hey,
That's
you
why
know
no
that?
one can afford
Did you did that
mortgage.
did that make its way all the way over to the UK? The smashed avo breakfast thing. That's why we can't afford
Oh,
houses.
yes, very much so.
Yeah, wow. Okay, great. I'm glad that that's one of our historical footnotes as an Australian culture. That's great.
Now I know after you guys do tour here in Australia, and that kicks off very shortly, in just a couple of weeks' time, you're taking this tour to the UK as well. So you guys are going to be spending a lot of time together and hopefully bonding over some coins.
Yeah, I hope
Yeah,
so.
exciting stuff actually. And that to me, just the fact that we're doing Australia is it's such a, because I'm a fan of Frank's, and I love his band, and I'm very excited about just being there, and again, I think it's going to be a wonderful night, and the fact that we're able to do it in the UK, and it's during the summer, and a lot of bands don't tour the UK in the summer because it's festival season. And so, in fact, I really I've been trying to think. I don't think we've ever toured in the summer there.
Wow.
Don't get too
Everything.
excited. You're from Texas.
Yeah,
Nice, hot, steamy 18-degree days.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
if you're lucky.
Mm.
yeah, but I really am looking forward to it. We're doing some really cool venues, some castles, and some city centers, and I've seen the some pictures of some of the places, and it's just gonna be great. Yeah, and I like when tours do that. I like. Because usually what happens is tour managers start to speak the same language and they're working together, and your crews start to set up things the same, and now you've got everybody works together, and it just creates this really really happy environment when you
Mm.
can do multiple legs together. So I think it's gonna be a blast for everybody.
Yeah, now talking
Strong
about that.
agree.
Yeah, sorry, Frank.
I said strong agree.
Oh yeah, yeah, nice. Two thumbs up. Um, oh, cheek with a cheeky vape as well to finish. Oh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that solidifies there.
I
Yeah.
have I have quit all of my other vices, and I
Well,
can have that.
you're gonna have to pre-pack your vapes when you come to Australia because they are like finding gold bars over here. You cannot find them anywhere.
Noted.
Yeah, he's got a plan. All right, we'll leave that one off the record. With the relationship with you guys, I mean, has it ever broken the boundaries of friendship and has it crossed over to musical? Have you done much together? Do you? Yeah, I know, no, 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 no. Don't get me there.
Hey, but a man on tour needs a cuddle. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're both very good huggers,
yeah.
and
very, very good
so
huggers.
we were talking about trying to do a song together before these two runs. We just happened to be in the studio. There was some talk of doing it, but we had the holidays, and Frank's going back and forth between the U.S. and the U.K. both for personal and for professional reasons, and everybody's busy, and we had such a busy year of touring, and then went
Yeah.
straight into the studio and recorded a new record and stuff. So it's not something that we really could rush, but I think it's something that will happen in the future. I think,
Yeah.
because quite honestly, I think it not only just because, that I think it just makes a lot of sense, but also it would just be a lot of fun to do, and I think
I think that
combining
should
our
be
two
our primary
styles.
directive. Yeah.
Yeah, I think combining the two styles, not that you haven't sort of already done, compilation things like with no effects and stuff like that, but I don't know that you've really ever done, hey, we're gonna literally combine like the two things that we do into one thing, and I think it
Yeah.
would really work.
Hmm.
I agree. I think the major thing there is that we shouldn't rush it. Do you know what I mean? And there was a
Yeah,
moment in
exactly.
time
Yeah.
we were about to, and then I think we both were
Hmm.
just like, let's do this properly.
Yeah, 100%.
You guys are such good friends. I love it. Like,
Yeah.
it's such a beautiful thing to watch because there's bands that go on tour all the time and you can see there's a working relationship there, but like you guys are so conscious of each other's stuff and you clearly
I
know each other so well and you respect each other's art. It's really nice to see.
I'm not going to name names while I say this, but I've done co-headline tours in my past where it's a bit like, yes, I'm very excited to be on tour with,
Yeah.
and then you read the band name or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it's just like that is very much not what's happening here.
Yeah, I agreed. I'm pretty lucky in that I've co-headlined with only a handful of bands, and it's been really great. But I definitely toured with bands that again, we're not like-minded. I don't think anybody's necessarily an asshole or anything, but just not really fun to be around. And that's not the case with Frank nor his band.
Yeah, you love to hear it. I mean, that's exactly what we were expecting when you guys come down under. I mean, look, the tour is going to be kicking off in just a little while. I mean, like it's May, like it's right around the corner. Like, you guys must be packing your suitcases already.
I have another tour in the interim, but yes, I am.
Yeah.
Oh
Okay.
wow,
Man, I'll tell
Busy
you,
man.
I packed so quick. Like I'm basically Charlie Brown anyway. Like I don't know, do y'all get that reference? I
Yeah.
wear the same thing every day. You know, so like I have a specific kind of shirt, underwear, and socks, and I sometimes change up my shorts. But you know, it's very easy to throw it all in a suitcase and go. And my toiletries and my travel CPAP just stay in the suitcase.
Yeah.
Nice. And that stops the snoring too, which is I'm sure going to be a good deal for everybody.
That's right. Yes.
well, tickets are available for this one through Destroy All Lines. It kicks off on the 1st of May, Black Flag Brewing in Coolum. Then you're going all down the East Coast, Brisbane, Sydney, Newcastle, Melbourne. Frankston should be an eye-opener. Have you, Frank, you've been here time and time again. Have you played
I
Frankston
have,
before?
I've done Alice Springs, I've done Darwin, I've done Townsville, I've done, a few off the map places, but I've not been to Frankston before.
Good
But
luck.
very generous of them to name the city after me.
Uh,
I
yeah,
just learned
Mate,
something. I just learned something. I didn't know Alice Springs was a place. I just thought it's what they called the chicken at Outback Steakhouse.
yeah, and it was an Australian Alice Cooper comes out of the ground once every 20 years too.
Yep. Summer spring.
Yeah.
Love
Uh,
it.
listen, guys, thank you so much. We do have to leave it there. We're getting the hurry along, but it's been an absolute pleasure. Honestly, two of the nice guys of rock and roll. Cannot wait to have you down under. The perfect synergy, the perfect relationship. We cannot wait for the single when it comes out. When you're ready to do your thing together, we're happy to wait. Guys, thank you so much. We'll see you soon.
Thanks for
Thank
having
you so
us.
much. Cheers. Thank you.
Pleasure.